What up, everybody? Welcome back to the FitBiz Podcast. Jordan here, your co-host. Don't have Aaron today, but we are rebuilding our studio right now, so just give us some time because Aaron and I are going to be doing some more episodes together where we have some really great stuff planned. And not to get into that, but if you're new to the channel, you don't know who I am, my name is Jordan, co-owner of T4E Systems, which is an online fitness or health coaching company that we sold recently, and we own Impact Fitness Coaching Academy. So between both of our companies in the last 5 years, we've done around 16 million in sales. We've made about just every mistake you could possibly conjure. And I'm here today with this podcast to help you get to where you want to go faster and to bypass a lot of the mistakes that we've made. So what I'm going to cover today is a simple process to think about your content and your marketing. So this is a subject or a framework that we've used really over the past 4 years, and it's really accelerated our ability to not just attract clients, but to get clients who come to us ready and willing to pay. Because what we've been able to do is we've been able to hit them at whatever stage they're at in getting to know us and getting to know our product. And most importantly, getting to know like themselves. So, you know, for this whole episode, I'm just going to break this down. And for those watching on YouTube, just so you know, we are going to be publishing on YouTube from now on. I've got a little whiteboard where I'm going to kind of draw this out. So if you're listening to this and you want to see that, I would check the YouTube in a couple of days. And you'll be able to access sort of a more in-depth experience and listening experience. But anyways, think about it like this. Your ideal client is out there, right? We're not going to argue that, but it's important you know who that person is. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole niching stuff. You can go back. We have tons of podcasts on, you know, finding your ideal client and speaking to them. But you need to have one to a degree. So you at least know their psychographics, right? What are their beliefs, their values, their struggles? I'm not so much worried about like what they do for a living and stuff like that. It can matter, but for today, is we just need to know like who they are and what they believe in and all those kind of things, right? And most importantly, reigns above all, is just what their biggest bleeding problem is that you solve. So what I'm going to do here is go ahead and just put an image on the screen. So for those just listening, no worries. You're still going to be able to follow along. And column 1, we're going to call Sidewalk. I'm just going to write side. Column 2, we're going to call slow lane and fast lane. Okay? So everything we're doing is in the context of these 3 columns here. So you can kind of imagine this and follow along. All right. So we have sidewalk, slow lane, fast lane. Now, when we're trying to attract people, whether it's like get new followers and get leads into our system and ultimately lead them to becoming a client, there are 6 steps that they have to follow. All right. So I'm gonna write this at the bottom of these columns. And so for the sidewalk, imagine, just think of it like you're driving a car, right? When you're driving a car, you have people on the sidewalk, you have people in the slow lane, people in the fast lane. Our goal is to get them to go from sidewalk into the slow, then into the fast. And so up at the bottom here for sidewalk, this is where the strangers live, right? Stranger danger. So stranger as well as suspects. Strangers and suspects, first stage is stranger, right? If you see somebody online that you've never seen before, they're a complete stranger. But what happens after you see their message? You're probably suspect. You're like, this person might be full of shit. I don't know who they are. So you're a little suspect, right? That's where they live here in this sidewalk lane, okay? The next thing I'll do is break down how to get them from sidewalk into slow. So people in the slow lane, this is once they become followers and as they become a lead, or also known as prospect. So somebody follows you, that's step 1. Okay, I'm going to follow them, like they're worth following, but our goal from that point should be to get them to a lead. I like to qualify them into a lead once they show some interest. They raise their hand, they engage with posts relevant to their problems and struggles. Maybe I have them in a conversation. Maybe I even have gotten them to book a sales call. That all is where the slow lane lives. Now, fast lane, that's where they become a client and eventually a raving fan. Right? So how do we speak to these individuals depending on where they're at? So there are 6 stages of what we like to call conversion. Okay, there's number 1, connection and beliefs. Number 2, making them problem aware. Number 3, connection and conversations. Number 4, breaking beliefs. 5, making them solution aware. 6, getting them to take action. So when they're in the sidewalk, okay, they don't know you, they're suspect. That's really where connecting with them, I'm going to write this down, connect and beliefs. Okay? And we're also going to cover authority, and which is like problem awareness here. So the two main types of content that you need to be creating to get new people to follow you, to get new people to at least trust you enough to become a follower so we can move them in the slow lane. This is going to have to do with who you are. What are your beliefs and your values? What do you believe most in? Because people will trust you and want to work with you way more when it's related to what you believe than it is what you know. So state that, right? Like, hey, what do you hate about the industry? What are the mutual enemies that you can create? What are the stories that you can tell that show how, like why you do things one way and you hate the other way? And just personal stuff. It could be as little as like why I think this movie sucks, right? Or it could be political values or religious values. But those are going to be the things that people connect with you over, and you at least have their trust to then move them into the slow. So the second part of this, after connection and beliefs, is problem awareness. Okay, problem aware means a lot of people, as they follow you, they might be living with problems, but people have the ability to just push them aside, right? They might be living with these problems and not even understanding that the symptoms that they're experiencing in their life are related to this core problem. I'll give you an example. Maybe it's a man, a dude who is like sluggish and lethargic. He's gaining some extra weight. He's just feeling like shit all the time. And he's aware that he has this weight gain, but he doesn't realize that his core problem is low testosterone. So maybe your offer helps men increase their testosterone so that they can lose that stubborn belly fat and increase their energy and their sex drive, right? Then if you start to just raise awareness around what the symptoms of testosterone are, yada, yada, then you can make them problem aware. Now, once they're problem aware, they're going to be paying really close attention to your messaging because now they want to solve that problem, right? Or a female example could be like the metabolism. Maybe you help women over 30 restore their metabolism so they can lose fat easier, build leaner muscle, and have more energy, etc. So you need to start just creating content, raising awareness around why a downregulated metabolism or a not optimal metabolism is leading to XYZ, right? So once we have that locked in, we can move them over to the slow lane. All right. So now that they're in the slow lane, this is where two things are going to happen. Number one, you're going to connect and conversate. Plus, you're going to use authority to break beliefs. So what I mean by connect and conversate, this is literally just get somebody to engage in a conversation with you online. It can be as simple as just starting things outside of fitness, right? Like Aaron did one time. We called him Bike Shed, which Aaron just showed up and was like, hey, should I show Jordan my wedding dress before our wedding? Do you think that's good or bad? Do you agree or disagree? And it generated like 200 some conversations because everybody had an opinion on that. So what are little things that you can talk about that relate to your beliefs and values, your interests, that people in your ideal clients will just have an opinion on? So that way you can create a connection that's not you trying to sell them anything, but now they're looking at you as a human and somebody who they relate to. Even if they disagree with you, that's fine. In fact, that might even be better, right? So think of just ways to be more human and start those conversations. And then the second part, what you want to do in the slow lane is you want to use authority type posts to break beliefs, false beliefs. Okay, both false beliefs and limiting beliefs. And let me explain what I mean. So false belief is like, oh, you think that just cutting out carbs is going to allow you to reach your fat loss goal or reach your dream physique. And then you just explain like the problem with that and why that doesn't work and what you should do instead, right? Or, you think that, like, what are all the misheld beliefs, right? Like I have to do excess cardio in order to do this, or I need to do setups to burn belly fat. So you want to just start breaking those misheld beliefs in this phase. But if you try doing this, like as you're doing this, people who are in the sidewalk lane probably don't give a fuck yet. And that's fine. That's okay. We're speaking to people in the slow lane. So in general, you're probably going to find that 2 to 5% of people in your audience live in the fast lane. I would say 20 to 30% live in the slow. And the rest, what would that be, like 60% roughly, live in the sidewalk, all right? So when we're speaking to them in the slow lane, we're just trying to get them to, we're trying to break their false beliefs. Then what we're also trying to do is we're trying to break their limiting beliefs. Their limiting beliefs might be, oh, I don't have enough time to hire a coach, or, I can't put myself first. I have a family that I have to focus on, right? And that's where you just explain like how my clients are able to get XYZ result by spending only an hour a week in the gym, or why, if it's finance related, why investing in your health now will save you money long term, et cetera. And this is where like sharing a lot of social proof and stuff comes in at this phase, especially because if you can share a story about a client who got a result that they want, but also had similar circumstances, you're going to show them proof like, hey, your excuses aren't valid, right? So those are the two most important components when we talk about slow lane content. All right, both connecting, getting into conversation, and then breaking beliefs, both limiting beliefs and misheld beliefs, okay? Now, we move over to the fast lane. This is my favorite one. This is where we have two components, okay? We have authority to create solution awareness. Number two, just action, okay? So the two types of posts here with authority and action, solution awareness, which is a type of authority post, and action are like this. So with solution awareness, this is simply you showing up and talking about your program more, right? Talking about your offer more. Simply put, if you want to, here's a good way to think about it. You should be talking about your offer 5 times as much as you're probably comfortable with. People just don't talk about their offer enough. And it doesn't mean you need to be like selling your offer, but just talking about it, your method, the way that you do things. And the more you talk about it, the more people will be interested in it. But if you're just talking about your offer all day and you've done nothing with the other 2 lanes, then it's going to fall on deaf ears. Because if I'm showing up and talking about like macro tracking and why macro tracking will help you XYZ, but they don't even know that they have this problem, it's going to fall on deaf ears, right? That's why this all has to work in unison in like a nice symbiotic environment. Because if you've been able to hit on their connection beliefs, make them aware of their problems, and kind of break those limiting beliefs and misheld beliefs, now when you talk about your solution, boom, it's going to resonate. They're like, oh, that's the key. That's what I need. So it's like old way versus new way language, right? Where it's like, hey, have you been somebody who's, stuck to rigid meal plans and carried Tupperware, broccoli and chicken into work every day? Well, you realize you don't have to do that. You can eat the foods you love and still get the results you want. That's why I use this method. Maybe it's macro tracking, or maybe an intuitive approach. Maybe you have something more unique, like personality-based diets. Anything that's like new and unique that you can talk about the way that you get your clients' results to solve XYZ problem, it's going to hit with them. So then the very last thing you do is just make action posts, right? So with action posts, that's literally just asking for the sale. Hey, are you this type of person who struggles with this? Do you want this result? Boom, like DM me keyword. So you can start to throw in more action posts. Those action posts will convert more and more and more, all dependent upon what you've done in the first 3 lanes, okay? So look, if this is useful, I actually have a gift for you. And I should have mentioned this at the beginning of the podcast, but I forgot. So what I'm going to do is give you a framework on how to organize this. So if you'd like to be able to just kind of wake up and, know what you're going to post, maybe you spend 1 or 2 days a week organizing and piecing it together, and you can just save so much time creating content. Here are 2 ways that we can help you with your content production. All right, so in the show notes, you're going to see 2 different links. Link 1 is our automated content planner and our top post templates. All right, this is a built out resource for you that has, months worth of recyclable posting templates. This will eliminate all that kind of guesswork from an overwhelm that comes from just not knowing what to post. Number 2, we'll give you 60 proven headlines that are pre-engineered to call in your dream client. All right, these are frameworks that you can plug in, and you can speak to who you want to speak to. To get them to actually either read your post or watch your video, you got to have a strong hook. Number 3, we'll give you systems and tools to streamline your content, right? Apps and stuff like that. And we'll also give you 190 plus different content ideas and formulas that'll literally just lead to your dream clients begging to work with you. All right, it's a really powerful resource. Number 2, also in there, we're going to give you 10 of our top 10 posts that we've used in our company to generate. In our fitness company alone, we did, I think, total almost $3.5 million in sales before we sold it. So they work, right? Now, not only that, if you're a coach who you mainly use Instagram, or Instagram is a platform you're trying to grow and to develop, to grow your brand and to again, take people from, from stranger to suspect to follower to lead to client and then raving fan, then I have something for you as well. So if you look in the show notes, you'll see a link to our IG playbook. This is 54 pages of all of our best Instagram strategies. All right, all the way from how to use shout outs to grow your audience to how to convert, your followers into clients, what types of things you should have in your bio. It's basically everything you need to crush it on Instagram today. So that's it. Hopefully this was useful. And if so, just shoot me a message. Let me know. I like to be validated. Shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'm at JordanDuggar_ and be like, yo, bro, that was really helpful. That's all I need. And if I don't respond, I will eventually. But anyways, thank you guys for listening, and I will see you on the next go round.